G, and we are going to be going over this problem. So we're asked to test whether mu1 is less than mu2 at the alpha level of 0.02 for the sample data down in the accompanying table. So we have that down here, and we're assuming that the populations are normally distributed. So the first question, we're just asked to determine the null and alternative hypothesis for this test. So the null is going to be that the means are equal. So this looks good. And then the alternative, that's what we're testing, is that mu1 is less than mu2. So let's go ahead and check that box and see. Perfect. So now we're asked to determine the p-value for the hypothesis test. So a couple things we want to do here. We need the data. So here it is. And then we also need to open up StatCrunch. So this is going to be stat and a z-stat test because it has a normal distribution. And then we're going to be looking at the two sample summary data. We have two means that we're looking at. So here now we're just going to input the data from this little sample data chart. So for sample 1, we have the mean, that's the X bar number, so 103.5, and that's the sample mean. And then the sample standard deviation is 12.2, and then the population is 32, and that's what N is. And then we do that for the second population, and the mean is 114.2. I mean, the second sample data, I should say, for population 2. And then the sampled standard deviation is 13.3, and then we have our sample size is what N is, which is 25. So now we can go ahead and compute this, and we get a p-value. Oh, one thing I forgot to add, so we can always go back in and edit. So we want mu1 minus mu2 to be less than 0. The difference between those two would be less than 0 because mu1, we're testing to see if it's smaller than mu2. So let's go ahead and compute this. Okay, and our p-value is this 0.009. So we're going to have to substitute that in here. So we're done looking at that. And then it says to round to 3 decimal places as needed. So 0.00, let me double check the decimal places. So 0.0009. So when we round the 9 up because the 9 is in the 4th decimal place. So we round that, and that looks good. And then here we're asked to state the appropriate conclusion. So this is very small. It's smaller than the alpha value, which is 0.02. So it's below that. So we would reject the null hypothesis. And that means, and the null hypothesis states that the two means are equal. Well, we're rejecting that, so we're stating that we do have sufficient evidence to conclude at the alpha level 0.02 that mu1 is less than mu2. So let's check that out. All right, that looks good. So thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime. Thanks. Have a great day.